We're back with Anders trying his first Indy.
Oh God!
Today we have one objective and one objective only, and that objective is to teach you guys 5 scooter tricks that you can learn in one single day. Wait, does that make it 5 objectives technically? Maybe. Now before we get moving, I want to let you guys know that these tricks are based off of like a beginner level. It's not an amateur level or a professional level. If you guys want me to do 5 amateur level tricks or 5 pro level tricks that you can learn in one day, let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you want me to do amateur or pro or both. But let's get this started with trick number 1. Okay, so we're gonna start it off pretty simple today with trick number 1 being a tire tap. Now, for those of you that don't know what a tire tap is, it's a trick that came from the BMX world, and it's basically where you're essentially doing what would be a manual, but staying still either on a quarter pipe or on a bank or even flat. While we name off these 5 tricks, I wanna teach you guys exactly how to do them, or at least give you guys some tips and tricks that you can use to get all these done in one day. And if you don't get them all done in one day, don't worry, there's always another day. For those of you guys that are beginners, you're probably gonna wanna learn this trick on either flat ground like this or on a very small, mellow bank like this one. This is what I'm gonna demonstrate on first, and I'm gonna set my camera right here, and I'll get a few different angles so you guys can see it in a bunch of different spots. There's a bunch of different tips and tricks I can give you guys when it comes to doing a tire tap. Now, as I said previously, it's probably a good idea to start either on flat or on a slight bank. But if you've never tried the trick even on flat, obviously definitely try it there first. What a tire tap is, it's basically when you put your foot on top of your brake and you lean back a little bit so your front wheel is in the air while your back wheel is planted, and you kind of give it a little bit of style points. If you want to like lean it back a little bit, you make it look really good. The first step to doing a successful tire tap on a bank, a quarter pipe, or anything like that, starting on the ground, is to roll at a slow pace, step on your brake, and pick your front wheel up. Do this 5 or 6 times in a row, and then once you've got it down, maybe start to try to stall it and hold that front wheel up in the air for as long as you can. Once you've gotten that practice down, you can go forward, step on your brake, lean back, and maybe try to spin a little bit on your back wheel. There's so many different ways that you guys can figure out how to stay on your back wheel, but once you've got your balance point proper, you're good to go. Now it's time to take it onto a bank. When you're starting to do a tire tap on a bank, you're trying to basically baby your way up to doing it. There's no reason for you to go up and try to do a foo-foo-noo, which is where you do a tire tap on the very, very tip top. You have a lot more risk of looping out, hurting your butt, your back, whatever the case may be. Don't start like that. Start small. Start at the bottom of the bank. This bank is about 1 foot tall, and it's pretty much flat for anyone that's trying to learn this trick. This is the perfect bank to do it on. Now you're gonna do the same exact thing that you did on the flat ground on this bank. You're gonna go at a slow speed, step on your brake, lean back a little tiny bit, and jump into a tire tap position. Once you're in that position, try to hold it as best as you can without looping out. You do not wanna lean too far back to where you fall backwards and you land, like I said, on your back, on your butt, because let me tell you something. I know from firsthand experience, it's not a good time. Work your way up as slowly or quickly as you want. Once you've gotten all the way to the top and you're able to jump up, do a tire tap, and spin the last 180, you're good to go. Spinning that last little bit out of the tire tap can be difficult, but that's what you guys should be practicing, that tire tap spin motion that I showed you earlier. Once you've got it down on flat, once you've got it down on the bank, you can take it to bigger banks, you can do tricks into it, you can do tricks out of it, you can go onto bigger quarter pipes, whatever you want. It's a great trick to learn, and you don't see that many people do it very often. So, tire taps, check. Next trick. Next trick on the list is a Feeble. Now, this has to go with either a Feeble stall or a Feeble grind, whichever one you want to learn. You can most likely learn it in one day. Here are some tips. The best place to learn a Feeble stall or grind is on the smallest ledge that you can possibly find. Now, this is not the smallest ledge that we have here in the skate park. The smallest ledge that we have here in the skate park is not actually a ledge at all. Technically, this is the smallest ledge in the skate park, but it is at the bottom of the stairs. If this is all you have, then yeah, go for it. Learn it on something like this. But if you have a small curb that's literally just a curb, which pretty much everybody in America and everywhere else in the world has a curb around them somewhere, I would recommend learning it on that. It's a little bit safer because you don't have to worry about going forward and hitting anything on the stairs, hitting your mouth, hitting your hands, hitting your elbow. A little bit easier. So that's what we're doing on the ledge over here. Step 1, you've got to learn to bunny hop the height of whatever obstacle you're trying to do the Feeble on. So in this case, it's this ledge, which is right about 8 inches tall, and that's what I'm gonna be doing my Feeble on. Now, a lot of people tend to get frustrated with Feebles because they don't necessarily understand what the trick is. A Feeble stall is basically like, you know when you jump onto a curb, you just jump straight and you just stop because your back wheel stops you? That's almost it. All you have to do is turn 45 more degrees or more, as long as you're not passing 90 degrees, so your front wheel stays on the ledge, and then jump off. So many different tips for this trick. One of which is if you're a little bit nervous to jump onto the ledge, don't worry, you don't have to jump onto it first try. You can use your foot. Once you've gotten enough confidence to attempt to jump fully up on top of the curb or ledge, just jump straight. Do exactly what I was saying earlier. And if you're already past that point, good for you. A lot of people tend to be afraid to jump off of the ledge or curb because they're worried that their back wheel is going to clip on the curb when jumping in. If that's the case, don't be afraid to jump out way more than you have to at first. You can fine tune it later. All you want to do is make sure you get off of that curb safely. Another way to do this is getting into the initial stall normally and then taking your foot off and pushing yourself off. That's not that bad. If you guys are learning, you're learning. That's exactly what this is all about. Don't be afraid to try different things to learn the trick properly. One thing I know a lot of people tend to do when learning Feeble stalls is put their heels down. Don't be afraid to put your heels down. Yes, later on, the people that think they're super street heads might say something to you, but if you're learning, it's not that big of a deal. Learn. Put your heels down to support you so you don't fall off of the stall. Once you're confident enough to jump onto the ledge and spin a little bit, another tip that you can use to get onto the stall properly is turning a little tiny bit before you jump onto the curb or ledge. That helps a lot when it comes to not getting on the ledge totally straight. Once you've gotten all that stuff down, getting into the grind is actually a little bit easier because you can go at the ledge at an angle, jump essentially straight onto the ledge, and all you want to do, the main secret to Feeble grinds and sliding properly, is keeping your front wheel parallel to the curb. So if that curb starts to turn, your wheel has to turn. Otherwise, your scooter will not follow the pattern of the ledge. That's a Feeble. That's enough tips and tricks for you guys to learn that trick in one day. Trick number 3. Trick number 3 is a real 180. Now, what do I mean? What's a real 180? A real 180 is a real up and turn around, come back down. Not this. This is not a 180. When you go on a quarter pipe and you turn from one side of the entire quarter pipe all the way to the other, it's not a real 180. You're just turning. First things first, I will demonstrate not a real 180. See that? Not real. The best way to learn this is exactly probably what a lot of you guys are thinking. Baby step. That's a secret to a lot of tricks in scootering, is just baby stepping your way up to it. So you're gonna have to start by just turning around. That's what a lot of kids start out doing, is just turning from one side of the quarter pipe using the entire width of the quarter pipe and no jumping whatsoever, and that is fine as long as we're learning. But you do have to step it up soon after you learn how to do that by just doing a small bunny hop in the middle. It doesn't have to be massive. Just pick your wheels up. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. That's step 1 into learning a real 180. The scariest thing about this trick is going directly at the quarter pipe because people think that they're gonna go up, loop out, and land on their back, which sometimes happens. I'm not gonna lie. Just go more direct at the quarter at a time. So if we're starting super wide like this, like a rainbow, make that rainbow a little bit sharper, and then a little bit sharper, then a little bit sharper, and then eventually you'll be able to go straight up and straight down. I will demonstrate. Okay, now like I said, I'm gonna tighten up that curve a little bit. So I'm gonna make it a little more straight up, not fully straight, but just a little bit. Again, another trick you can learn in one day. A lot of you guys will actually learn this a lot faster than one day, maybe just a few minutes. All it takes is a little bit of confidence and just fully going for it. Full commitment on this trick. But we gotta go on to trick number 4. Before we continue with this video, I want to give a quick shout out to my sponsor, Envy Scooters. Shouts out to them for always supplying me with the best scooter parts as well as Vital scooters. Repping my Vital grips right now, Envy Union bars. I got my double clamp down there, full Envy setup, and I absolutely love this thing. A lot of you guys have been asking why I have this scribble on the side of my deck. I know, okay, I know it's there. I haven't missed it, but either way, this deck is absolutely killing it. Gotta wash that stuff off right there because it's looking pretty rank. And I've had had these Lambo wheels for a cool minute now, so if you guys are looking for some really good 120 millimeter wheels, these things absolutely demolish the skate park. They're super fast, they're super strong, NV headset, everything on this thing is like amazing. I love it. But let's continue with trick number 4, which is an Indy. So we're turning the heat up a little bit. A lot of you guys might think, an Indy? How can I land this in one day? It's actually not that bad, as long as you're more flexible than I am, because I'm not. This trick you're gonna have to learn how to do on a ramp most likely. Some people have learned flat, which is amazing. I didn't learn flat, I learned how to do this trick on this exact bank right here that little homie just did a little jump on, and I recommend that that's where you guys learn how to do Indies. Let's give you guys some tips and tricks when it comes to the Indy grab. Anders has volunteered to try an Indy on this bank. He's never tried it before, so let's see what happens. That's a Superman.
This?
Yes. Anders, I'll show you. So I'm gonna give Anders a few, wait, Anders, have you ever done this trick before?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna give Anders a few tips and tricks really quick. I'm gonna tell him these tips and tricks before I tell them to you guys to see if it helps Anders. Anders, you ready?
Yeah.
Knuckles. We'll be right back. We're back with Anders trying his first Indy.
Oh God.
Anders, what happened? That tip I told you, you gotta keep practicing it, okay? My man, you got it?
Yes.
All right, deal. A lot of people suffer from, well, one main issue, and that main issue is reaching down far enough to grab their deck. The best thing that I could tell you guys when it comes to doing an Indy is when you get up in the air, if you push your bars as far as you can, it'll make the back of your scooter actually come up, making it easier for you to actually grab the back. You don't have to grab the very center. That's not a thing. You can, but you don't have to. If you grab the back, your wheel, anything, you can even start by grabbing like the back of your shoe just to get the idea right. If you do that, baby step your way up. Like I said, all this is about baby stepping. You don't have to send the trick first try, but if you do, obviously that's sick. All right, that is the 4th trick of 5. Now, the final trick, we're gonna speed it up a little bit. We're gonna turn up the heat. The last trick in the 5 scooter tricks you can learn in one day is a turn down. This is a tough one. This is a hard trick to learn in one single day, but a lot of people do shifties. We're taking this trick to this 5-foot quarter pipe right behind me. Now, why a turn down, Raymond? Why a turn down? Well, I wanted to show you guys a turn down because nobody freaking does them, and I'm trying to keep them alive by doing them and showing you guys how to do them. So if you guys learn this trick in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a week, it doesn't matter how long it takes you guys to learn it, continue to do it because not that many people freaking do it. Pretty much everybody knows what you know what, actually, I'm just gonna show you guys what the shifty is. We can all agree that we have done that trick before, right? Oh God, I'm falling. Everybody in scootering has done a freaking shifty. Even if you've done it on accident, that's fine. But when you do a turn down, the shifty part, the part of your deck, the way that it goes out is in front of you. It goes towards my toes, so I'm pushing the deck like this. This is not where we're going. We're not going towards our heels here. That's not where we're going. The scooter is going in front of us for a turn down. All a turn down is a shifty plus an X up. That's literally it. Everybody overthinks this and they think it's so complex. It's really not. Shifty, X up, that's it. Okay, so let me show you guys right now. This is a turn down. So we're doing the shifty in front of us, correct? So we're pushing the scoot out plus an X up. That's it. This is a turn down right here. So push your scoot out, turn your bars, that's it. And it's a hard trick to learn. It's weird, it's very, very awkward. But another thing I can tell you is do not lean too far forward. It's all bad if you lean too far forward because everything starts to get all jumbled up, you lose your balance, you fall, and it's just not good. Just don't do it, okay? Trust me. You gotta try to whip that scoot out as fast as you can. Like you don't wanna be taking your time to do this, and also this back leg, if it is straight, it makes it a million times easier for you to actually bring it back afterwards. It's kind of like a 3-part trick. It's a push, then a turn, and then bring it all back together at once. So push, turn, all together. It's a confusing trick, but you can do it, and you can do it in one day if you try hard enough. So let me demonstrate the turn down. Another thing I forgot to add in there is some people like to do them with both legs straight. Some people like to do them bow-legged like I do. Whatever's comfortable for you, that's fine. Bow-legged just means you're rolling your front ankle, just so you guys know. That's how I'm gonna do it. I'll try straight-legged, but it's real ugly. But let's take this one to the hip. ugly. Straight leg is bad. But ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's all 5 tricks that you guys can learn in one day. These tricks are gonna be harder for some than others. So for example, I'm pretty good at turndowns, but he might not be so good at turndowns, correct? Correct. So it might be a little harder for some of you guys to learn than others, but it is okay. You gotta stay determined. You gotta get it. You gotta get the goal. That's what you guys gotta do. That's what it is all about. Work hard for these tricks, and then don't stop here. Work hard at all the other things that you do in your life, whether it's on your scooter, whether it is on your math assignment, whether it's on anything else that has to do with you working on being nicer to other people. Just do it. Do it, work on it, and everything takes practice. But hopefully these 5 tricks are easy for all of you guys to learn, and I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. And until next time, I'm out of here. Later.